Hello, fellow robots out there in internet land. I am Sobertron, and welcome to the next episode of Titancraft Season 6 here on Tango Tech's Patreon server. Guys, server's resetting, so this is the season finale. That's right, season finale. Server is resetting this Saturday, July 17th at 10 a.m. Tango time. That's like Mountain or something, I don't know. And I figured I wanted to showcase some of the things I worked on this season, and what better place to do that than at spawn. This is where we spawned in this season, and I'm fairly confident I was the very first person to be on the server this season. And when we got here, it was just a mushroom island. And now you can see a lot has changed. This place doubles as our shopping district, and there is a ton of stuff going on. And I did a fair share of the work here. I originally did not sign up to help with this project at all, but there was a bit of a stall in it, let's call it that, where a lot wasn't getting done. So I took it upon myself to terraform a lot of this land, turning all the mycelium into beautiful green grass, and I also did a lot of these blackstone roads. I was doing it at my base anyway, and I kind of had a nice groove for it. So I just decided I needed to help out here. We did have a couple shops this season. Our first shop actually was at this location, but I have since redesigned it. This is like a little cool blacksmith shop, and it sells all tools and weapons and armor and things, and very reasonable prices, and it got a ton of business this season. But where I really made my money is at our other shop to the far north end of the shopping district, where we sold our arcs, which are above recovery kits, essentially a did you die box, to where you come in here, you pay your diamonds, 32, very reasonable price, and you got just this amazing amount of gear. Just everything you need to get you on your way to, mining and crafting again. So that right there made me so many diamonds. I think it originally started off at like 64 diamonds, and slowly the price lowered over time as, it gets easier and easier for people to get things. But yeah, that made me a ton of money this season. But the shopping district is great. Every season, it's fantastic. Lots of things to buy, lots of things to see, including the obligatory cable statue. There's one every season at spawn. You'll find them all over this server as well. There's one at actually, there's been two at our base. I had to tear down the original one. But yeah, let's head into the nether now, because I absolutely help with those nether tunnels as well. So this is probably my second favorite nether hub or nether tunnels of the seasons I've been playing on Titancraft. And I've been playing since Season 2, and this is now Season 6. It's a really cool design, a really cool concept. I didn't help in the hub at all, but I did a ton of work in all of the tunnels. I just broke out my picks and started digging and digging and digging, placing tons of blocks to get these tunnels looking good. The hardest thing, though, was digging out all the bits between the bedrock. That was, honestly, the most annoying thing. And they didn't open the above until these tunnels were done, so it was definitely the one requirement to get up there, and so we wanted to get these tunnels done as quickly as possible, so I absolutely enjoyed lending a hand in it. And then in the south tunnel is where our tunnel is, and I absolutely love what we did this season. A lot of seasons we just kind of throw up something that looks good, but this season I think we honestly put a lot of effort in designing it, where Kash designed it. I built the majority of it, and then I threw in all of these sentinel statues that just look so fantastic. In my mind, these are like the guardians of our base, and they're guarding the, the entrance from the nether side. So at any time, I just think that the dwarven masters of these guys can just turn them on and defend the portal coming into our base. But we're not going to head there yet, no. We have to go to the project that just kind of never was, because it never fully got done, but a lot of work was done there. So I need to head there just to show it off one last time before the season ends, so I will see you there in a moment. So in previous seasons, me and my group of friends, we really cornered the market on beacons early on, and I think that's probably why this project never really came about. A lot of people were selling beacons this season, and by the time we got around to this, and beacons were just too cheap. They were like 5 diamonds each, is what I think the going rate for beacons is for most of the season on Titancraft. So it was never really a priority to get this thing automated and the kill chambers working. We did dig out this perimeter, which is massive and insane. We just never really hooked up anything, so we've been killing all of them manually inside of here. You can see the rates in here are fantastic. Lots of things spawn, and we would just go in there with our swords and kill them manually. or we drag him through into the overworld to our creeper coaster, which, if you haven't seen that design, go back and watch my episode on it, because it's really cool how it all works. And then we also blew up a rather large section of the bedrock ceiling, uh, planning to fully automate this thing. It just never happened, which is a little bit sad, but it served its purpose. We got lots of beacons for our personal use, and we were never without, but we never got around to selling them like we wanted to. But I had to show it. I had to show it off one time. I thank everybody who helped me out here. There was a lot of people who just came out here and dug just to help us out, and I can't even remember everybody right now. But if you were out here helping me out, thank you again, because your help was honestly invaluable. But let's head back now. I'm not going to go to our base first. I'm going to go to our base adjacent area where Sham has his village, because that's where we started off this season. So here we are in Sham's side of the little mini hub of ours, and he has this amazing little medieval style village that is really centered around this little church right here. And it was the first project I worked on this season. It wasn't the church itself, it's the stuff that's underneath it. We started things off with a villager trading hall because, honestly, I think villagers are one of the best ways to get early game experience and also just access to tons and tons of books and enchanting materials. I had to create our own trading hall, though, because this place did not have all the villagers we needed to get the job done. But this thing, early game, served me very, very well. I'm going to show you guys a couple other things that Sham worked on, because we really didn't show it. Down here, actually, never really finished. We had this kind of automated or manual mode nether farm that we used a lot. We would just go down there, get what we need, replant it all, and it was great. Sham has his little storage room down here, which I've never shown on camera. I have no idea where anything is in here because I never really come here. Sham organized it in a way that made sense to him and not to me, so it hurts my brain to think about. But he's got all of these little houses around his village. And honestly, Sham is a very, very good interior decorator when it comes to these tiny builds like this. And it just feels so homey. It feels like a nice little cozy little cottage. He's got all these little rooms with various little decorations, little gardens out the backs of things. I love Sham's build style. He is very, very good at what he does, and I'm envious of him at many, many times. But we are going to now head to our mountain base. Well, we're not going to look at the outside quite yet. There's a couple little spoily things I want to save to the end. But we're going to head inside, and we're going to kind of go from not necessarily how I built everything, but just kind of something that makes sense, a logical rhythm. So I'll see you inside in a moment. Here we are in the main chamber of our base, and honestly, everything is centered around this room right here. Below us, there's a massive hole that goes all the way down to bedrock that's 101 by 101 across, and that's where, like, the inner workings are. But down here, right in the middle, is our storage room, and this is honestly probably where I spent the vast majority of my time on the server. It's where all of our storage is. It's where I AFK. All of our farms underneath come here. Everything comes to this central location. I've got my millionth kelp block right there. I love these little things right here. They're little bone block converters. So on this side, you get shulkers full of bone meal. You pull it all out, craft it into blocks, and then you put the bone blocks in here. Everything's automated, so when that shulker's empty, it kicks it off and sends it back into the system. And then when that one's full, it puts it down here into this little storage chest. Let me grab that ender chest out of there. I've honestly filled this chest up once. I gave it all away because I had no use for it, but it's already been working to its heart's content. I love the storage room. It's small. It's organized in a way that I absolutely love. We've got all of our gunpowder from our farm below here. I've had to start shulkering it up because it's, getting to the full stages. Our sugarcane over here makes it very convenient to craft rockets very, very fast. And then once we go back up, there's a lot of rooms that are off of this central room, but I'm going to show those off in a little bit. For now, I wanted to go over the outer ring, as I've dubbed it, and its color-coded sections. We've got blue, red, there's purple over there, and then a green section as well. So I'm going to start with the blue and show you guys all the little shops and things that we've built this season. So when we started off, we wanted the blue section to be kind of like a commercial district. It's the first place people see or would see when they enter the base from its entrance tunnel. And this first thing over here on the left side was originally supposed to be like a bar, and it kind of turned into a sports bar. There's a whole bunch of ribbons on the wall and things. I think it turned out very, very nice. Kash did all of this. We've got weapons hanging on the wall. I think it's just a really cool kind of... As soon as I saw it, I thought it looked like a sports bar. And then Cable accidentally built his little pub market restaurant thing on the blue side as well. We wanted him to put it in the green because we wanted it to be more natural looking, but he built it over here. You can see his old face that he had in the wall over here. He has since changed his skin a little bit, and so he's got the big eyes, but I still think that's a cool little Easter egg thingy. Kash built a little like tapestry shop over there, and one of the most recent additions over here is this kind of weapon shop she did. All the weapons that we have on the Sentinels in here with a couple of additions, some helmets and things. I think this it just filled out the space very, very nicely. Over here on the right is Kash's Candy Shop, which I've shown before, and I just love this room. It's completely different than anything else in our base. It's very bright and vibrant, using the ores as candy for the dwarves, because obviously dwarves eat rocks. Now, this is something I haven't shown yet. Zalvi, she built a shop on the opposite side in the green section, a flower shop, but this is like a little inn. You come in here, you're kind of in a lobby area with a nice little, almost like waiting area with these little couches, little fireplace, and the reception desk. And then if you come upstairs, she has built all these little bedrooms that I just absolutely love. She is very, very good at these little detail works, like even putting little shelves inside these little cupboards is amazing. And then she's got little bathrooms inside each room as well, and I honestly, she is very, very good. I can absolutely learn a thing or two from her. One thing she has in these other rooms opposite are these little armchairs, which I think are fantastic. I can't believe I've never thought of something like that. It just looks amazing with the bed and the signs and then the banner up there. It just looks very, very cool in these little rooms. My hat's off to her. I need to get better at doing stuff like that, which is honestly my plan for next season. Doing the interior work is what I want to do. But then as you leave the blue area, you come to the red area. The red area initially was going to be like the war quarter of the place. And we have a bit of that here. We've got a little horse stable and a little blacksmith shop over here for like horse armor was the intent behind this. Kash did all of these as well. I wanted to do barracks in here too for like all of our dwarven guards. I just never got around to it. Time, gets away from you and you do other things and you build a giant mountain over your base and then, the season's over just like that. The purple area of our base was always meant to be like the royal quarter. We started off here with this great dining hall. The idea was that this is where like the whole mountain community would come together and they would have communal dinners here with the king up front, residing over all of his subjects. But this also served as our new villager trading hall. Behind all of these trapdoors, we have our villagers. So on this wall over here, we have 15 librarians to get all the books we need. And then on this wall over here is all the other villagers, starting off with masons to get all the emeralds that we need. And then there's some weaponsmiths and toolsmiths and things behind these doors as well, and some clerics in here too. Honestly, me and Kash designed this room in about 3 hours, and probably my favorite, or well, I'm not going to say my favorite, but one of my favorite rooms in this place. I love, and I'll say it time and time again, the way the lighting affects those bone blocks up there. Like just how those ones are very white and then those go to a more off-white color. And that's simply because of the distance away from the light. It just turned out very, very well. And then over here, Kash built like a royal library, just a small little room where people can come and read books and things. I had other plans to do like little reading nooks in here as well. Just never got around to it again. At time, it's a real killer. And then off on this side, we have what I've been calling the war room, where the king would assemble his council and they would go over the map in the floor and make sure they're well defended and all the stuff. And this is kind of based off of a overhead projection of what the area looks like. This would be the mountain base over here. To the northwest, there's a slight little desert, and then there's a huge swamp over to our southeast. So this kind of mimics that effect, and I think it turned out very well. I did have plans to put some like royal quarters, like this would lead to a staircase and it would go up over the top and you'd have the king's chamber up there, king's bedroom and things like that. Just, once again, didn't get around to it sadly. As we continue our way around though, we're going to enter the green section, and this place has some very functional things in it too. This place, I didn't intend to build this initially, but I wanted to do some more things along the outer ring, so I decided that I wanted to do some kind of park, and not like a playground park, but like just a green space park. And I needed a ton of cocoa beans to do the exterior work on our mountain, so this place served well. It was my first attempt at making some custom trees. and I think they turned out fairly well. Um, I got a couple comments, people thinking Cable did this, which is honestly a huge compliment in my opinion, because Cable is like the best natural builder I know. So if my stuff can pass for Cable stuff, I will take that compliment all day, every day. And then across from here is Zalvi's other shop that I didn't show the finished one in last episode, but again, Zalvi and her ability to just decorate things is like amazing. I need to talk with her next season and learn many things because just the things that she does I would never think of, and it looks so fantastic. The last thing in the green section, or last two things, is first this kind of farmland area that Kash did. Kash completely redid this too. Initially, it was similar to our park over there with gray blocks, and then she decided to change it all to black. I think the logic behind it is that the fertile nutrients and things in the soil from the mountain itself, from the lava, would make the crops grow better. And I think it turned out great. It's something completely different than the rest of our base. And then across from there is a little farmer's market to where you can take all the crops that you harvested and sell to the community, which I think is very, very cool. I'm going to go back inside the center area of our base now because there was a lot of things to show inside there. So I'll see you there in a moment. So we're back in the center area, guys, and I wanted to show the first thing, which is, I think, the first thing I kind of built off of this. Once I had the rings all in place, at least made out of stone, they weren't decorated yet, I wanted to do our Furnace XP farm. Now, below the central room is a giant cactus farm that feeds into this room. And this is the second iteration of this room as well. Initially, it was a very natural cave with a giant lava fall coming out the back end. And over time, we got better at using Blackstone and things, and we just decided to completely change it up. So this is what Kash and I came up with. It took us a couple days, actually, to develop this. We were playing in vastly different time zones. I'm still overseas. I think I said that many, many episodes ago, but I will be finally heading back home to the US, actually, the week after the server restarts, so it should make our collabs a lot better, able to do things a lot more timely. But we decided to change things up, and we wanted to use lime green with the blackstone because I think it's a very nice contrasting block with one another, and then throwing in the lava just makes it look amazing. I spent a lot of time in here building our arcs to sell, and honestly, I can't imagine having any less furnaces than what we have in here. 64, honestly, in my opinion, is the bare minimum that I need if I'm going to make arcs, and I have plans potentially to make an even bigger one of these next season. But then, as you come out of here, there's a lot of other things still to show. We did have plans to make an underground forest over here. It just never came to fruition. And we decided we're just going to show off all of our swag. So somebody started a public diamond pile in the entertainment district where people can just come and drop off their diamonds to show off. We decided to do our own. So I think this is 22 stacks of diamond blocks. There's no hollow spaces in here. It's completely solid. And then we decided we're going to take all the gold blocks that we got from our gold farm up there. Can't see it, but it's up there. Trust me. There it is. I think this is just over a double chest. We did give a lot of gold away because we had so much of it, but we just wanted to lay it out for everybody to see. We may put a roof on this building before, or this room before the server tour, but I wouldn't hold my breath because it's literally tomorrow. So I don't see myself doing that for, just a few minutes on camera during Tango's stream. Honestly, this is one of the biggest headache rooms that I dealt with this season, is doing this decorative mine. It just took so long to do, to get these paths right. I think it turned out very well in the end, but it was probably the worst project that I worked on, in my opinion. It just took very, very time-consuming over many, many weeks to get this done. We do have a cobblestone generator and a basalt generator here that we never really used. Back behind the wall over here, there was also a blast chamber and concrete converter down there that all feed into that blast chamber. It broke shortly after I finished using it, and I never really needed it, so I just said, that's good enough. I really liked what I did in all these little alcoves. I kind of made them cracked, like they're digging away, and as you get further down, it actually gets less and less deep to where it's only like one block back. But then over here, I wanted to show this, because Cable kind of mentioned in his base tour episode my cactus farm. And yeah, this thing is massive. It is a massive, massive cactus farm. I don't even know how many seed cactus are in here. I did expand it. Originally, it was only 3 layers. I decided to add a 4th. But yeah, this thing is truly insane. It's one of those that there's no empty air blocks. Every block has something in it, either walls or end rods and fence posts. And it took a very, very long time to build. So yeah, I don't plan on doing a farm like this ever again. It was very annoying. I will be building cactus farms in the future, just none that are as efficient as this one. Down here as well, in the 4 corners, we have these sugarcane farms. I never hooked them up to a timer, and I honestly haven't ran them in a very, very long time. Our sugarcane storage, which is actually right behind this wall over here, filled up very, very quickly, and I have not had to run them since. They did cause a lot of lag whenever they would fire, so it was very nice to not have to deal with them. And then at the very bottom of this hole is our creeper farm, which the goal for this season was to build a small base where I can AFK in one spot, and honestly, this was achieved. There's a lot of things above this that lowered the rates over time, but you saw earlier how much gunpowder I have that I will never use, so in the end, it was enough. That's all we wanted to do this season. In past seasons, we absolutely went full-on crazy doing full perimeters for just a creeper farm, and we did not want to do that this season. So yeah, let me head back up, avoid all this stuff again, and I'll show you some more things. So the next stop on our journey, or mine was down there we were just at, is our smelter room. Now, the smelter itself is not in this room. Another room that Kash and I collabed on, and this is our pet coal, because fuel, I guess. But this is the storage room for our super smelter. The smelter itself is down here, and I think it's the biggest one on the server. It's 321 furnaces in total. And honestly, I did not use this very often. This honestly was used to great deal though by the Explorers Guild. They did this world access project where they did I think it's an 8 wide strip of red glass at world height, all the way from the north end of the server to the south, and from the east end to the west. So it's a massive, massive red line that shows up on the world map, which is very cool. But they use this thing quite a bit. Hundreds of shulkers of sand went through this thing to make sure that they had enough glass to get it all done. And honestly, I'm super happy that they got use out of it, because I absolutely didn't. Maybe in other seasons I would have needed something like this. I honestly built bigger ones than this one before, but I'm glad somebody got some use out of it, because I didn't. The next stop on our journey is one of the first projects we did in here as well. Purely decorative, serves no purpose whatsoever other than to look nice, and that is our hot springs. Now, initially I had built this place. Kash had dug it out, I had decorated it, but I used a more gray palette, and she came up with the idea to incorporate all of the white blocks in here, and honestly, I'm glad she did it. It looks so much better than it initially did. Using so many things, like these are mushroom stems. We were going to use bone blocks, but the mushroom stems look so much better. Tons of quartz, but then having these little hot springs in here just looks so amazing. Honestly, I don't know what else to say about this. This is one of my favorite little builds I did this season. And honestly, I would say Kash is the primary contributor of this, because she just made it look so amazing. So my hat's off to her on that, because this room is one of my favorites, and I don't come down here nearly enough to get a look at it. I think the last stop in here is going to be to our kelp farm. Now, kelp was my primary fuel source this season. You saw the million kelp block last episode, and I just showed it off a few minutes ago. But down here is our kelp room. And the way this works is you stand right here on this lever, or on this trapdoor, you flick the lever, and then all the dried kelp just rains down on you onto this pressure plate. The pressure plate's there to prevent excess kelp from building up in here, so it works very nicely. But back here is where we have our kelp farm itself. Not a big one. It's 3 layers, though. So flying machines harvest all this stuff. It goes up into a water stream and then up to a collection chamber up there. Now, some of you may notice I have 0 experience right now. That is by design. All of these furnaces are full with 1 stack of dried kelp in them. So I wanted to see, these things have been, running all season long, and they have never had experience pulled from them. So I wanted to see how many levels I could get if I pulled out All the things. Oh my gosh. 99 levels from one furnace. Now this furnace or this smoker right here was the most used because it's just the first one where most of the kelp comes into. But that is nuts. I'm gonna do all these. I'll see you in a minute once I get done. I don't even have a guess what my level's gonna be by the end of this. So if your guess was 481 levels, you would be correct. That was a lot of experience from that first furnace. I did not think it would be that much. And honestly, the first 8 furnaces got me up to 250, and it just depreciated over time. But that is truly, truly insane. So the next thing to show on this tour is our gold farm. This gold farm was one of the first things that went in, and honestly, I had to raise it up a little bit. I can't remember why I needed to do it, but I remember it needed to be done. It has 2 modes. Right now you can see it in just an AFK mode, the uh, zombified piglins. Sure. Come down here, they land on some wither roses, and then all their bits get put up a water stream and then filter their way down. Anything excess gets destroyed by some lava over here, but mostly looking at saving just golden nuggets. And as you saw earlier by our massive gold pile over here, we got a lot of gold. One of the other things that I just wanted to do, just never got around to, was doing some piglin bartering. Didn't really have the need, so it just never ever got done. Let's go out and show you some other small things close by before we finish and show the outside of the mountain. There are a couple things that have been built recently that I haven't shown on camera yet. But the first thing to show is our outpost that we did. So there was an outpost over here. I changed it, modified it so that the dudes just get kited towards the golems, and then there's a nice little kill chamber down here. The whole point of this, though, is just to get bad omen. So slowly... Hi, can you not? Let me... Options, sound, blocks? There we go. I don't know what's going on there, but the guys will slowly work their way down here, and you can just stand here and kill them until you get bad omen, which is honestly the only point to this farm right here. Once you get bad omen, you can then fly over to our raid farm, that's a word, and our bee farm. And I think I just spoiled something I didn't want to show yet. Let's try to avoid it. Nope, there it is. You guys saw it. I'll show you in a minute. But our bee farm and our raid farm right here. This design was by Light Horizon. I did a whole episode on this thing. It worked out very well to get experience. It helped me making arcs when I didn't want to, and when I was combining books, honestly. Combining books and then putting them on the tool or armor worked very well. And then down here we got a little bee farm. Didn't get as much use as I thought I would have with this season, but you know, I was glad to have it. So now it's time for, you know, the thing that has been built. A couple things that have been built, but let's just show you the first thing, and that's the airship. I wanted an airship here from the very beginning of the season. As soon as I knew the mountain was going to go up, I wanted this thing. I built some of this, but another person built the very beginning of it. Alex is his name on the server. He still has some shulkers over here, but he had a design that he had found, and he started building this thing. But he couldn't finish, so he sent me the design, and I think I built it pretty much from like this layer up, and it took a very, very long time because I was using like a blueprint model to where I couldn't really tell what blocks are what. I had to hover over it to see what it was. It was a little annoying, but in the end it got done. Completely carpeted up top so that no snow can spawn. There was hopefully no snow on our mountain, but there's a little bit down there I'll take care of in a little bit. And then over here we have the Anita tentacle. Cable has placed these all over the server. They are literally everywhere, and it has to do with his story, so go watch his episode on it. He'll explain it a lot better than I, but if you can catch the server tour, I would highly suggest you watch that instead this Thursday. The day this video is releasing, actually, because you're going to see them everywhere. And then on top of that, we've got our cable statue. This was the second one Cable built. The first one was down there, but I had to tear it down as soon as the mountain started going in. It was just in the way, but you can see his nipples left over from down there. And honestly, this is my most favorite cable statue he's ever built. It's kind of a remembrance of when I pranked his base with tons and tons of chickens. It was hilarious and glorious. I was making him go crazy, just thinking of where all the chickens were coming from. I had a whole bunch of little egg layers hidden throughout his base, and then I wrapped it up with a massive finale where thousands of eggs were dispensed simultaneously on his base. It was glorious. And the last thing to show off is these guard towers I built. I think I built 8 of them in total, either 6 or 8. I honestly can't recall off the top of my head right now. But it is a design that I've used in the past. I used a similar tower in Season 4. I just completely changed up the block palette and then shortened it, actually. The original ones had a third level to them that I just didn't think was needed here. These are short little stout towers that can look over everything still. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. We can see Sham's village from here. It's really cool. I really love these guard towers. I may use them again in the future. And then over here, just the last little thing we've done was a project I never really intended on making, but I think it was honestly one of my favorite projects of the season is making this little campgrounds. I did it in my last episode, so if you want to see me building it, I suggest you go watch that. But it started off just with one of the mods asking for a little tent design. I came up with a couple, and then I liked them so much that I decided to do some more, and it just turned into this. I think it looks great. It's something I usually don't do, and I think it turned out very, very well. But that's it, guys. That is Season 6. We're going to wrap it up here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the adventure that I absolutely enjoyed this season. Where's my mountain? Hello? Can you load, please? I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. Your support is greatly appreciated. I totally plan on making episodes in Season 7. Not sure when they're going to come out because I will be traveling in the near future, like a week from tomorrow, or a week from the day this video comes out would be a better way of saying it. So I'm not sure when a video is going to be released, but absolutely there will be episodes for Season 7, and I do plan on starting to stream on Twitch here in the near future once I get settled back in the States. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next season, you guys have a good one.